Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, picture this. It's 3 a.m., you are standing in a dark nursery, swaying back and forth, and you are so exhausted you can barely see straight. You're looking down at your sleeping baby, and you're probably wondering what on earth is going on inside that tiny little head of theirs. Well, today, we're going to dive into some truly groundbreaking science that will fundamentally change how you look at your sleeping baby. We are going to take that deep, heavy 3 a.m. exhaustion, and we are going to shift it into profound wonder. Because as it turns out, researchers have finally unlocked the secrets of the infant sleeping mind. We now have the actual neurological data showing us what they are processing in the dark. And let me tell you, what they found is quite possibly the most emotionally moving scientific finding a parent can ever receive. For over a century, parents and scientists alike have watched babies sleep and asked themselves this exact question. What is your baby actually dreaming about? I mean, we've all seen it, right? You watch them sleep and you see their rapid eye movements flickering beneath their incredibly thin, closed eyelids. You see those sudden, completely random small smiles, the quick grimaces, the twitching fingers, and you hear those startling little sighs and vocalizations. And for a century, parents have been terrified, asking, are they having a nightmare? Are they scared? Are they remembering the dog barking earlier today? For most of scientific history, this question was completely unanswerable, because obviously an infant cannot wake up and verbally report their dreams to us over breakfast.
Well, hold on to your hats because scientists just found the answer, and the answer is you. Let's really dive into this. A convergence of massive, groundbreaking neuroimaging research published just recently between 2022 and 2024 has finally allowed us to look directly into the sleeping infant brain. Using completely new, advanced, and infant-friendly technology, scientists can now see exactly which parts of your baby's brain are the most active while they are fast asleep. And the answer to what they are processing is nothing short of a biological miracle. The most active work their brain is doing, the absolute peak of their neurological energy, is focusing specifically on their relationship with you. But to truly understand just how revolutionary this discovery is, we have to first understand the old narrative. We have to look at what doctors and scientists used to believe. Which brings us to Section 1, the Great Sleep Myth. For decades, the scientific and medical community told parents a massive myth. It was called the 1966 ontogenetic hypothesis. Basically, doctors told us that all that twitching and smiling during baby sleep was just random neural exercise. They believed it was just a biological way for a rapidly developing brain to stimulate itself, but that it was completely devoid of any real meaning, memory, or dream content. It was essentially dismissed as primitive motor practice, like a computer just randomly firing static to keep the circuits warm. But groundbreaking new research proves that this old belief was completely 100% wrong. The 2024 new reality is that targeted rehearsal of social bonds is actually happening. It's not random static at all. It's a highly tuned, beautifully orchestrated symphony.
And you can really see why researchers started questioning the old myth when you look at the sheer proportions of sleep. Notice the stark difference here. While you and I, adults, spend maybe 20 to 25% of our night in active REM sleep, which is the stage associated with dreaming, newborns spend a massive 50% or more of their sleep in this state. To put that into perspective, if a baby sleeps 16 hours a day, they are spending 8 solid hours in this highly active, energy-consuming brain state. That is an extraordinary amount of biological energy. If their sleep was just about resting, they simply wouldn't need to do this. The brain consumes a massive amount of calories during REM. So why is half of their sleep so intensely, relentlessly active? To understand this, I want you to think of your baby's REM sleep like a vital software update on your phone, an update that can literally only run when the screen is turned off. Sleep isn't actually rest for a baby's brain, it is literal physical construction. Imagine your baby's brain as this vast, dark city where every single second 1,000 new streetlights are flickering on for the very first time. Billions of tiny neural connections, synapses, are being formed, organized, and pruned. Daytime is when they gather the raw materials, but REM sleep is the critical installation window. It's where the nervous system rehearses, practices, and physically installs all the new capabilities and memories they encountered during the day. Which leads us perfectly into Section 2, Seeing the Sleeping Brain. So how exactly do we know what they are updating in the dark? For a long time, we couldn't know because putting a sleeping baby into a loud, scary, giant MRI tube simply wasn't going to work. But thanks to newly developed infant-compatible fMRI machines and portable, high-density EEG caps, everything changed. These caps look like little, soft swimming caps covered in gentle sensors.
This rapid succession of breakthroughs, starting with Washington University in 2022, moving to the Karolinska Institute in 2023, and then University College London in 2024, completely shattered the old myths. These new silent technologies allowed us to safely measure blood flow and tiny electrical signals through the baby's scalp. For the first time in human history, we could watch the infant brain organize itself in real time, all while they slept peacefully right in their parents' arms.
Now we're getting to the best part. Section 3, the Face Processing Center. Because what researchers found inside your baby's sleeping mind is quite frankly extraordinary. In 2022, scientists discovered that during infant REM sleep, a specific region called the medial prefrontal cortex, or MPFC, shows disproportionately massive activation compared to literally any other brain region. Now, why does this matter so much? Because the MPFC isn't a motor control center for random arm twitching. It is the absolute highest level hub for social cognition. It's the center for self-awareness and complex emotional processing. It's the exact part of the brain that thinks about the thoughts and feelings of others. This means the sleeping infant brain isn't just practicing kicking a leg, it is intensely engaging the exact neural architecture most associated with deep, complex emotional and social processing.
But the real breakthrough is that the MPFC doesn't light up all by itself. It lights up in direct, perfectly synchronized tandem with the fusiform face area, or the FFA. This is a very specific region of the brain whose only job, its entire dedicated real estate, is processing and recognizing human faces. So the brain isn't just randomly firing static. The social center of the brain and the face recognition center of the brain are intensely communicating with each other in the dark. Your sleeping baby is actively intensely processing face-related emotional information.
And here's the fact that is going to completely blow your mind. The researchers found that these specific regions, the social and face processing centers, are actually more active during REM sleep than they are when your baby is wide awake and looking right at you. Let that sink in for a second. You would think playing peekaboo would be the peak of their social brain activity, but no. The most intense neurological work your baby's brain does regarding social connection and processing your face happens while the room is completely silent and their eyes are completely closed.
Moving right along to Section 4, rehearsing the attachment.
So this spills into a beautiful explanation of exactly whose face they are dedicating all this incredible energy to. Because as it turns out, the infant brain doesn't treat all faces equally. A brilliant 2023 study out of the Karolinska Institute tracked what we call sleep spindles. Now think of sleep spindles as the brain's tiny, busy librarians. They are quick bursts of electrical activity that take messy, fragile daily memories and file them away into permanent structural storage. The researchers exposed babies to either a caregiver's face and voice or a completely unknown stranger's face and voice right before a nap. The results? The sleep spindles fired significantly stronger and more frequently after exposure to the caregiver. The brain was specifically locking in the memory of the parent.
This is why you absolutely must understand this next point. Your baby's hippocampus is taking the thousands of messy, chaotic sensory inputs from the day, the ceiling fan, the dog barking, a passing car, and it is actively, selectively prioritizing the moments they spent with you. You are not just a comforting presence to them, you are the VIP of their developing neural architecture. The brain literally flags the memory of your face, your smell, and your voice as the most vital, critical pieces of survival data to save to the hard drive for permanent storage. And a 2024 University College London study confirmed this with a phenomenon called hippocampal replay. They looked at the specific, highly unique neural pattern, like a brainwave fingerprint, that fired in the baby's brain when the baby was awake and playing happily with their parent. Then they watched the baby go to sleep, and what they saw was breathtaking. That exact same neural fingerprint, that identical pattern of joy and connection, is refired over and over and over again in the dark. They are literally reliving the physiological feeling of being with you. So the crucial takeaway here is encapsulated perfectly by this quote from the researchers themselves. REM sleep is a nightly rehearsal of the attachment relationship. It is not random twitching. It is not primitive neural static. Half of your baby's entire sleeping life is dedicated to practicing, processing, and neurologically rehearsing their profound love and bond with you. Let's bring it all together in Section 5, a miracle in the dark. It is absolutely critical to realize what this actually means for you practically, especially when you are standing exhausted in a dark nursery at 2:47 a.m., listening to your baby suddenly twitch, grimace, or cry out in their sleep. Notice the vast difference in biology here. In an adult, we have a mature regulatory layer, an off switch, that keeps our body paralyzed and quietly contained while our brain is highly active in REM sleep. But in a newborn baby, that regulatory layer simply isn't fully built yet. So all that intense neurological firing, the emotional centers lighting up like a Christmas tree as they process these massive, beautiful social memories of you, simply spills outward into their tiny bodies. They twitch, they grimace, they might even let out a sudden cry. It sounds like a nightmare or terror to our highly tuned adult ears. But it isn't terror. There is no monster under the crib. It is just raw, uncontained biological construction. It is simply biological spillover. And honestly, ignoring this neurological shift is no longer an option because it totally, completely changes our job as parents. We need to completely reframe how we view infant sleep. When you see the twitching, when you hear the sudden startling sleep cry, you are not managing a broken system. You don't necessarily need to rush in and fix it or wake them up. You are witnessing a nervous system doing its most important, monumental work. You are literally watching a brain physically build itself in real time. So, what is truly happening while they are lying there asleep? They are mapping their relationship with you. They are taking the safety, the warmth, the gentle touches, and the love you provide during the exhausting daytime hours, and they are using it as the literal structural foundation of their mind. Every single smile, every soothing word you offered them while the sun was up is being actively, meticulously stitched into their permanent emotional architecture in the dark. The most active work their brain is doing while they rest is processing and rehearsing their love for you. While we cannot ask a baby to describe the specific plot of their dreams, the neurobiology points to one incredibly beautiful, undeniable conclusion. They dream about us. The safety and love you provide every single day is the very material their dreams are made of. So the next time you're up at 3 a.m., just remember, you are the center of their universe even when their eyes are closed.
I would absolutely love to hear from you down in the comments. Do you notice your baby smiling, twitching, or reaching out during active sleep? And how does knowing this groundbreaking science change how you see those tough midnight moments? Let me know. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep wondering, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next one.